Look, Ubisoft might have just made one of the most controversial changes to Black Flag Resynced. And honestly, it might be the right one. According to recent previews, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced is completely removing the modern-day Abstergo sections. I already know hardcore fans are going to hate this. For them, the modern-day storyline is part of what makes Assassin's Creed what it is. But let's be real for a second. Most people didn't love Black Flag because they wanted to wander around a corporate office as an IT employee. They loved it because they wanted to be Edward Kenway. They wanted the Jackdaw. They wanted naval combat, hidden treasures, massive storms, and sea shanties. They wanted the ultimate pirate fantasy. So if Ubisoft is cutting the exact part that kept pulling players out of that fantasy, that might not be a mistake, that might be the fix. To be fair, the Abstergo sections weren't completely pointless. They connected Black Flag to the larger universe and gave the game that classic Animus inside a corporation vibe. If you're deep into the lore, removing that feels like Ubisoft is sanding off the series' identity. But the problem is, Black Flag always had a weird split personality. One minute you're sailing through the Caribbean, boarding ships, upgrading your crew, and playing one of the best pirate games ever made. Then suddenly, the game halts and says, "Alright, get out of the Animus and go hack a computer." For some players, that was a cool world-building tool. For a lot of others, that was the exact moment they wanted to skip. Lore fans see Abstergo as vital DNA, but casual players remember the pirate fantasy way more than the office walking. By choosing Edward over Abstergo, Ubisoft isn't trying to ruin the lore, they're trying to preserve the pacing. And that's why Black Flag is different from almost every other game in the series. It completely outgrew the franchise it belonged to. People who didn't even care about Assassin's Creed loved Black Flag purely as a pirate game. The ship combat was the hook. The exploration was the hook. The ocean was the hook. So if Ubisoft wants this remake to work, they have to walk a very fine line. If they inject too much modern Ubisoft clutter, they'll ruin what made it special. But if they cut the right things, modernize the controls, and keep the focus on the Caribbean, this could be the definitive version we always wanted. Less interruption, more pirate fantasy, less office, more ocean. It sounds simple, but with modern Ubisoft, simple is exactly what players are begging for. Resynced doesn't need to become a bloated open-world checklist. It just needs to remember why we loved it in the first place. The bigger question is whether this is a smart creative choice or just Ubisoft changing things for the sake of it. Black Flag Resynced isn't being pitched as a basic remaster. It's supposed to be completely rebuilt and modernized. That's exciting, but it's also dangerous. Change too little, and it's called lazy. Change too much, and you ruin a classic. Cutting Abstergo makes the game cleaner, faster, and more focused. But the real test is whether Ubisoft can modernize the game without over-Ubisofting it. We don't need unnecessary bloat, microtransactions, or random systems stacked on top of each other. Just give us Edward, the Jackdaw, better gameplay, and the adventure we remember. If they get that balance right, Black Flag Resynced won't just be a cash grab. It might be the smartest remake Ubisoft has made in years.